Welcome to Wealth of Useless Knowledge, where we dive into some fun and entertaining topics. You're sure to learn something new here, and maybe even have a laugh or two. Now let's get into today's video.
May I help you, sir?
2 Whoppers, 2 Whopper Juniors, and 4 Coca-Cola. And would I have to wait long if you made 1 Whopper with no pickle and no lettuce?
No, sir. Hold the pickle, hold the lettuce. Special orders don't upset us.
All we ask is that you let us serve in your way.
All right.
Oh, well, in that case, could I have the other Whopper with extra ketchup?
Sure. We can serve your broiled beef Whopper fresh with everything on topper. Any way you think is proper.
Have it your way.
Hey, you got one big hit on your hands.
Have it your way. Have it your way. Have it your way at Burger King. Come on now, have it your.
We all love some good fast food, and Burger King is one of the most popular burger chains out there. They've kept our mouths watering for decades.
My mouth is watering.
With everything from their Whopper down to their chicken fries. And since the restaurant's inception back in 1954, they've been flame grilling and frying their way up the fast food ladder and have managed to stay afloat, despite all the competition in the fast food world. And whether or not you're headed through the drive-thru to snag some fries for the road, or customizing your Whopper to dine in, one thing's for certain, BK lets you have it your way.
Have it your way at Burger King. Come on now, have it your.
Now, as we all know, with every long-lasting food chain comes some menu changes, and Burger King is no different. As over time, they've introduced and axed a wide variety of menu items, all in a quest to cultivate the menu selection fit for a king. Some of the items the company has introduced in past decades have stuck, while others not so much. And in this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 BK menu items you may have forgotten about. So relax, grab a snack, and stay tuned. First on the list is the Whopperito. Now, if you couldn't decide whether or not you wanted a Whopper or a burrito, well, with this Frankenstein of a menu item, you could finally get the best of both worlds. The Whopperito was launched back in 2016, and aside from having one of the goofiest names ever, it sure was a menu item that was out to shake things up. It took all of the ingredients that you know and love from their classic Whopper like lettuce, tomato, pickles, and their flame-broiled beef and wrapped it all up into a soft flour tortilla. But that's not all they did.
But wait, there's more.
They even swapped out the American cheese normally found on their Whoppers with the queso cheese sauce just to add that extra special je ne sais quoi. And even more surprising than the fact that they decided to release this at all was the fact that it actually started out as a menu item, only being sold at a handful of Pennsylvania locations, and it was not initially meant to be launched nationwide. But once word got around that this was being served, the chain decided to let the floodgates open and go ahead and release it for the masses on a nationwide scale. Now, the fact that BK straight up turned a burger into a wrap was just something people couldn't quite wrap their heads around. Needless to say, this item didn't sell very well and was subsequently removed from the menu shortly after its launch, and it's yet to make a return. But hey, it sure did get the people talking. Pivoting from burritos to Cheetos, Burger King decided to get even more creative when they launched the Mac and Cheetos back in 2016 in collaboration with the Cheetos brand. A collab that most people never expected to see. This unique side was launched for a limited time, removed, and then relaunched again back in 2017, in which they decided to have a return of the Mac. In Cheetos, that is.
Mac and Cheetos are back. Cheetos flavor on the outside, creamy mac and cheese on the inside, only at Burger King.
Side note, this is probably one of their most hilarious commercials ever. And speaking of which, if you want to take a trip down memory lane and reminisce on some more wacky TV ads from back in the day, check out my nostalgia playlist. It's a fun time over there. I'll leave a link for it down in the pinned comment and up in the iCards. These deep-fried macaroni and cheese sticks came served in a bright orange packaging and flaunted the Cheetos logo. The perfect seal on the BK and Cheetos collab. An order came with 5 Mac and Cheetos cheese sticks, along with a cup of ranch dipping sauce for even more robust flavor packed in every bite. Despite their hilarious marketing campaign and drumming up some consumer interest, it just wasn't enough to keep them on the menu, as they were discontinued shortly thereafter. But these definitely were one of the most unique menu offerings they'd launched in decades. So who knows, maybe they'll bring them back and we'll get another return of the Mac. As with the Mac and Cheetos, another item that many never thought they'd see on the King's menu is ribs. But at one point, they had these too. That's right, y'all. Burger King once sold short ribs. Now, when people found out a fast food burger joint was selling ribs, it sparked lots of confusion and subsequently lots of interest. I mean, what in the Southern barbecue joint was going on at Burger King? These fire-grilled short ribs were released back in 2010, but were very short-lived on the menu, sticking around for only about 8 weeks. Surprisingly though, they weren't discontinued because no one wanted to try them, but rather quite the opposite. Just about everyone wanted to try them. And the company and their supply chain just wasn't ready for the influx of people that they would attract with this new item. It's reported that they ran out of everything from the specialty packaging down to the ribs themselves just about a week before the promotion was set to end, forcing them to dial back on their advertising campaign and end it early. That being said, this menu item release was ultimately deemed to be both a win and a fail, as the product had tons of buzz surrounding it, but the sales simply couldn't be made if the product couldn't be kept in stock. Thankfully though, this one was launched with the intention to only be around for a limited time anyway, and was never set to become a permanent menu item in the first place. Unfortunately though, many people were disappointed that they didn't get to at least try them before they left. And since the promotion ended, they haven't been back since. But who knows, maybe the company will regroup and try to relaunch them again one day. Now this next one isn't so much new and innovative, but more so one of their classic menu items taking on a different form. Kinda like a Pokemon taking on a new evolution, if you will. And that menu item, my friends, was the Crown Nuggets. Now at first glance, when you see this photo, you may be thinking, okay, they're chicken nuggets, so what's so special about them? Were they sprinkled with some fancy new seasoning? No. Did they come with a fun new dipping sauce? Also, no.
No.
These chicken nuggets were actually no different than the chain's regular nuggets, except for the shape, that is. Now, they did play on the whole king theme of the restaurant though, and some people cited the crown shape as being much easier to fit in the dipping sauce cups than their standard variety, making them the preferred choice for some customers. But despite the change in shape, it was more of what the company already offered. So was it really necessary to have 2 different shapes of nuggets on the menu? Probably not. That being said, these did surprisingly stick around for quite some time, as they were launched back in 2006 and would seemingly become a permanent part of the menu. That is, up until 2011 when they were removed from the lineup. They also made a brief return back in 2021 in select locations, but that didn't last either. There's no word on if they'll ever make a nationwide return again, but what do you guys think? Do you think they were a great idea and the restaurant should have kept the crown-shaped nuggets? Or do you think a crown-shaped nugget is totally unnecessary? Let me know down in the comments. After trying all the new BK items you could get your hands on, you may want to seal it off with a dessert. And that's where the Cinna Minis came in. I mean, who doesn't love a good cinnamon roll? These miniature Cinnabons were launched by the chain back in 1998 in collaboration with Pillsbury, and they became a staple on the menu for decades, which is why it was so shocking when they were silently removed from the fast food chain selection of sweets around 2012. I mean, after all, they were a go-to snack, a post-meal dessert, or a light breakfast, whether you chose to enjoy them on their own or with a cup of coffee. These perfectly bite-sized pastries were a dream for those with a sweet tooth, which is why so many people want them back. So much so that they've even been campaigning for their return. These sweet treats were reported to have made a comeback in 2024, but only in a couple Florida locations, while supplies last. And there's no concrete decision to bring them back nationwide as of late. So as for everyone else, I guess we'll just be sitting patient, steady waiting, for the day that these decide to make their glorious return back to the King's Royal menu. Now there's tons more BK menu items I could dive into, but I think I'll stop here, because I really want to hear from you guys. Which discontinued BK menu items do you wish they would bring back? Let me know. Also, let me know if you'd like me to extend this list and cover even more discontinued Burger King items in another video. If you enjoy this type of content and are hungry for more, check out my foodie playlist, where I dive into even more discontinued menu items from all your favorite fast food chains, from Chick-fil-A to McDonald's, Wendy's, Jack in the Box, and more. I'll leave a link for it in the pinned comment and up in the iCards. If you found this video educational or entertaining, it would be
delightful. Really delightful.
if you would like, share, and hit that subscribe button for more content.
Don't worry, I'll wait.
As always, thanks so much for watching, and until next time, keep learning.